definitely for my subscribers. So be careful about any impersonators, right? Whether in Discord, YouTube comments, Facebook, Instagram, and so forth. Oh, we didn't need to delete. Oh, fix that later. Okay, time to go racing. So UCAR, as mentioned, 1130. You know, it's kind of already down there. But we got a green candle curling back up. High 1184, low of 1092. So big range. UCAR, are we on to something here? Or is this getting ready for a drop? There's a spread. We got MMV pushing up slightly. Which one will it be into the open? Not starting with huge size yet, just being patient. The other one is moving, MMV. Pre-market highs are at 38. Yeah, the other one looks like it's the stock to be watching. Okay. Well, not good. Okay. MMV, $200 loss to start. Buying a dip, the dip teleports to the upside in the blink of an eye, but it looks like it might be failing here. The dip teleported so fast, I got a high fill, it's already back down as I'm trying to sell into the highs. Very fast and aggressive momentum there. UCAR starting to move. Jeez, these fills on the ask. Couldn't even hold that trade because of that. Uh-oh. Not good. Ay, ay, ay. $600 loss, UCAR. Trying to buy the dip. Okay, let's slow it down with the size. That was a big drop. Let's pull it up. I think this might be the one. But we got to be a little bit more patient. So let's slow it down. High of days at 1280. Quite. Okay, we need some more green. Can we see the push through the highs? 75, 77. There's 80. Not bad. Halt levels extended. It might need, yeah, it might need more pullback. There's a bigger drop there. Can we get above VWAP? We'll see if it gets above VWAP and holds a little bit. Bit of a bad fill coming out right there. High of day 13, but it's holding up well. It's moving all right. We got to connect on some trades here though. A little bit of red to wake us up to start the day. Low of the candle 12:30. High of day at 13. I got to be careful of the bigger pullbacks that we're seeing. High of day trades working, but not very instant with the volume, as if there's some hesitation. Low 12:30. So watching, will we see a new high right here? Or do we need more pullback? Not quite. Well, we got our work cut out for us, that's for sure. Low of the current candle is 30. We are holding above VWAP for now. I prefer to see it pull away than have to pull back below VWAP again. And look at that drop. It's not even going to hold up at the lows of 12:30. Well, to the depths it goes. Halting down. Titanic. YJ, on the other hand, it's a little cheaper. It's moving. $1,100 reg start to the day, and just like that. That doesn't take much. But we did get caught for a 40-cent loss, 2,000 shares. That's never good. YJ, this is the only one holding up to this point. Choppy start to the day. I feel good mentally. Will we see something that holds up that strong? That's what it comes down to. So waiting patiently. And that was a nice move too. The first 1-minute candle does make the new high. The baby pullback was in there, just kind of got chopped out. It's a little unfortunate, but never personal though. 937. YJ, maybe there's something here on this pullback. $42. I think I'll re-average here. Probably try and hit the bids if it lingers a little bit longer. Bounced up pretty quickly. It's fluctuating a lot. And it's 2-3 cent air 2-3 cent range. So waiting patiently. MMV curling back up. Can we hold up on this dip? No, it's pretty choppy. And we're seeing a topping wick. To the depths. MMV. It's holding up, but I don't like that we're seeing a big topping wick there. 42. Let's pull it up. Might be better to watch. $360 was previous high of day. Waiting patiently. We'll see. Right now we're seeing a lot of range. We'll see if it gives a flag, something like that. The price action trade's a little tricky because of the range. We want limited downside risk, high upside potential. If the downside risk is just as high as the upside potential, then there's the 1-to-1, and we need a 2-to-1 in terms of risk management. So it's trying at the highs right now. I'm easing off, just waiting to see what it does. The 5-minute chart does look good. So the pullback down there could work. If it comes back down again, could try with some smaller size. Just take a starter position and see what it does with a backstop in place. But we don't want to see a repeat of UCAR where it just flushes down. YJ seems to still be holding up, but slow and steady. Also have to be careful with the spreads in the pullbacks in case there's a big spread. We don't need to be filled high. So right now, just waiting patiently. I do like pullbacks if it's a pullback, but we're making a new high. Let's see how it does. It's very volatile, very volatile. Will we see a dip? High of days now at $4. I want something more dramatic from the price action to be in. The way how it's moving right now for like break of 4 is just too choppy. Losing 10 cents is like just automatic here. Yeah, 4 to 91. That's just too little too much. So waiting for something more decisive. If it breaks above the level, if there's big bids, it's holding well maybe, but waiting to see what it does. If it's strong, we'll see opportunities. The patience will pay off. $4.35 is the next level that I have. $4.35. $77 for the low right there. $77 again. It's holding rather high. High of the current candle is 90. YJ worked out nicely off that VWAP bounce at 40. Not bad, 5 cents from 40 to 45. Okay. 75, not well, and it's pulling back much more. Not the best fill right there. Not the best fill. Might be coming down 57. Tried for 60, got a little bit of a higher fill, a bit of lag. It might be failing here. We do have a wick on that 5-minute candle, so it might be failing. Yeah, it looks like it might be. It needs to give a huge bottoming wick, like right here, right now. If not, it's done. At least for the short term, right? Ay, ay, ay. YJ still moving up. YJ hitting 50. Well, here I am to start the day with my biggest red day to this point, right? Down maybe 1400 right now if my math is any good. Although still not bad compared to the green days we've had, but still pretty steep, right? This at this point, this is where I started thinking of a max loss. I probably give myself like another $200 of room if I don't, because I haven't seen a winning trade yet to start this day. If I don't see a winning trade in like my next two trades, then I have no choice but to throw in the towel. We can't give back, all of yesterday's gains. That wouldn't be good. But mentally, still feel great. Just got caught on almost everything, unfortunately. If this is strong, I think it holds the previous high of day. That was the trade, 66. Could have maybe been in the lower, but the way how it pulled back, I would have had a loss anyways. All right. So we got a lot of indecision. Maybe it curls back up, but I think it needs a little bit more time. Kind of, show some more buying volume and interest. At this rate, I'm gonna have to go put on a red shirt. For those of you who get the joke, right? So far, so good. This is a good bounce. This is the type of interest I want to see. Now, if it dips down again, is where we want to see it holding. So a high point right here is at 79. We'll see if it gives something meaningful, right? Can the stock talk to us nicely here today? MMV. YJ seems to be pulling back. YJ seems to be pulling back. What I don't want to do is overcompensate for like bigger pullbacks. Like I'm gonna buy the pullbacks where it makes sense, but let's see what happens. Hopefully we can see some good entries. 57 for the current low. We got a high point of 80. UCAR curling back up a little bit. I don't know if that one is serious just yet. There's 12, 13 on the bids. So it is a little volatile. UCAR still has some range to it. These fills are lagging bad. I'll be back out for a scratch trade there. Okay, there we go. A decent fill for once. Well, we'll see what this wants to do. A decent fill. Stock is pretty volatile. Is this it? Or not yet? We might make new lows here. I'll trust the price action, but I'll have to be quick if it looks like it still wants to drop, right? Let's see what it does. Still holding. And finally, our first winning trade of the day, right? Feels good to be on the winning side. Oh, not quite yet. Still waiting. It seems 57. It seems to still be holding though. So I'll try again. Tight stops as usual. As always. Take me to the moon. We could see a drop here. It's acting weird. 10-cent drops. What we want to see is the 5-minute candle make the new high. Such a strange one. High of 380. High of the current is 68. It's like buying 70 is not bad if it's going, but you know, it's with all this chop that we're seeing, you know, it makes it tricky. So UCAR moving up a little bit, but you know, big range as well. We're seeing some buying. The fills are brutal here, man. 61. Fills are brutal. We're making a lower highs, so I'm gonna ease off. Lower highs and lower lows. Good buying 55, but just not enough. We want to see it make the new high and then attack 70, 75. UCAR, what will it be here above VWAP? Well, missed the move. Will we get a dip? Will we get a dip? Will we get a dip? No dip. No dip. Well, I tried 75. It wasn't ready. Missed the trade. Take me to the moon. Watching for 1350. My fill was kind of high though. Well, okay. Alright. Max loss day. These stocks are not holding up. I think this will be my biggest single loss on a stock. 1200 UCAR. The stock that we did 2.1K on yesterday. Good trade right there. It's not gonna hold VWAP though. Buying the dip, but the dip is just dipping. Dipping to the depths. Ah, ay. Well, tomorrow. Mentally, I still feel good, but nothing is working. So at this point, I have no choice. The rules are the rules. The rules are the rules. A $1,700 a day. Mm, 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 mm. Biggest red day before this, I think maybe 1200. Let's see. Trader view. Getting diced up like a cucumber right right now. Sliced and diced. But this is the lesson here today though. For anybody who might be taking, like, you know, whether today or previous days, you know, pay attention to the composure, right? You know, for me to do something crazy, I honestly don't know what that would take. I haven't experienced that. But you know, not to say that I'm immune to losing or anything, but you know, I'd have to, I don't know what would have to happen for me to do something out of character. Okay, big red day, you know, tomorrow, you know, I'm ready to go. Let's see what happens tomorrow. Hopefully there's some good momentum. Maybe we can get a nice green day, but we'll see how it goes. The only good news is that we're still green on the month, but barely at this point. 600. Biggest red day to this point. Let's see. We'll pull up the trader view stats. I don't want to spoil the monthly recap, and I don't think it was this month. So maybe March, or maybe last year. No, last year. Friday to the depths, man. A beautiful day. You know, still a beautiful day, but not the result we would have wanted. Of course, we would have wanted to be up 1700. But after yesterday, I did tell myself it's just unfortunate sometimes, right? But this is why you have to be relentless. Again, yesterday, I told myself, you're gonna put on your big boy pants and take some big size. Same trades that I take all the time. They just happen to not work today. But being that I'm relentless, it'll have no choice to work eventually. Keeping discipline, keeping composure, being patient. Uh, you know, we'll see something. So the biggest red day might have been December of last year. 1300. Okay, 1300. So, setting a record on the wrong side of things. This day also got, just, chopped up. 245 red, 474, 146, 270, 322, 259. There might be something good later on in the day, maybe after like 10:30 around that time. But being that I'm already max loss, it'll you kind of have to, even if you're going to be red, you want to be small red so that you can survive, right? Longevity throughout the day. You can survive, still give yourself a chance. We did manage risk, but we just got caught in some big flushes. So we live to fight another day. So I'll import, and I can import right now, and we can take a look at it. Mm-mm-mm. The last import was on the 31st. Guys, the monthly recap will be out on Saturday or Sunday. Saturday or Sunday. But there will be two weekend videos. So we'll export that and then import on the other side. Ay, 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 ay. Wow, a big donation from Twin. Twin, I appreciate it. Yeah, sometimes I don't see the comments right away. 111 for promotion code discount. Hey, big shout out to Twin, man. Twin has been a long time supporter of the channel. Lucky number 111. Bringing us some good luck. Yeah, Twin has been a long time supporter of the channel. So big shout out to Twin. We definitely appreciate it. Import, choose file. Yeah, the comments. I look at the comments from time to time, but I kind of have to, when I'm looking at the comments, I'm looking over here. I'm looking right now. Usually, I'm like center or up top or this side, right? Scans, and then there's YouTube comments, and then Discord comments. So sometimes I'm looking at Discord and not YouTube. Other time YouTube and not Discord. I try to keep both open. Mm-mm-mm. This is the territory, though. This is the territory. It's also why on a day like yesterday, it's good to really, like, in the recap I mentioned how I could have easily went up to like 3,500 shares. On a day like yesterday, if I'm really pushing it, I think we do like 6 to 8K on the day. But I didn't push it. You can't be afraid of the volatility when it's working. On a day like today is where you want to run it and get out of here. But on a day like yesterday, you gotta just, you gotta take control. So calendar, well, we didn't refresh. Okay, we're good. Couple of duplicates, but here's June. We will bounce back as we always do. In fact, I don't give myself a choice, which some of you might say is like really high standards or pressure, but that's just who I am, right? We'll be back. So we're still green 1,000 on the month, but not the day we would have wanted here. Tomorrow, well, Monday. Monday we'll be back. We'll be a little bit better. In terms of adjustments, you say, okay, RT, how could you have adjusted on the day? It's a little tricky, right? Because again, it's the same type of trades I always will take. Maybe a little less size in those areas. That's the only thing I could really think of. But then again, if you're trying to be aggressive, that's not really an adjustment, right? So just, today just happened to have been a red day. It's the only way I could sum it up. Nothing more, nothing less, not personal. I'm not gonna lie though. In the first loss, I'm like, wait, what? It's like it is like if I'm in a boxing match and then I get a little dazed, like, but then it's like, okay, red trade, so what? Let's keep looking for the next set. So if you do get hit, if you get punched in the gut or an uppercut, keep focus. Keep focus, stay dialed in, stay locked in, and keep pushing forward. I think I'll hang out, for a little bit, and then I'll shut it down. I'll check out some of the comments, see if there's any questions. Don't forget that if you are looking to sign up for MMU, tomorrow's the last day, 12 a.m. Tomorrow at 12 a.m. Today we get to see some archives of, maybe just volatility. Volatility, really. Even yesterday on one of those resumptions, I bought onto this big bid. It's down like 70 cents instantly. I mean, just crazy stuff. Stock bounces up a little bit. We get a fortunate fill. We didn't take the full 70-cent loss. It happened to be like a 30, maybe 40-cent loss, right? But part of trading, the risk is always on the other side of the trade. My number one risk is, the flush, the common flush, which is just a big red candle going down. Other than that, we have offerings and halts. Halt resumptions are actually one of the more high risk areas, right? I view it as the first minute of the open and the last minute towards the close. Like the volatility is high on the resumptions, and as UCAR pushing up and coming down again here. The thing that makes the resumption good is that there is an entry within the volatility that I see, right? But in terms of holding into the halts, this is where it's a big no for me. Whilst it can be good in some market, I've just decided to not, do it, right? The only circumstance where it can make sense is if I'm in with a really good cost basis. I've already scaled out some of the position, and I say, okay, I'll let these last couple of shares go into the halt just to see what happens. And it's like, for me to be hurt on the resumption, the stock would have to do something catastrophic, opening down 50% lower or something, which then leads to an offering, right? If the stock is halted up and there's an offering, we can resume 50% lower, stock from $10 going down to 5. In that case, I take a big loss, but it's not anything like devastating to the account or anything like that. But it's still a big loss, something that we would want to avoid. Third is emotions. If you get emotional, and maybe that could even be number one, depending on how you view everything. If you get emotional whilst trading, I mean, it can be bad. We all know this. A lot of us have had experiences with this when it's you versus you and you're losing the battle versus yourself. And it does not feel good. It's one of the worst feelings I ever had in the past, which is why I always draw the line in the sand and just stop whenever it's not working, because I don't need to get to that place ever again. I've been there before, right, in the sim, and it's funny because I was talking to one of the moderators about this yesterday, it was just, not good. Seeing yourself doing something that you know you shouldn't do and not being able to stop yourself. One of the worst, definitely top five worst feelings I ever had. I mean, yeah, top five easily. There's some other stocks being called out. Play poker. Man, poker is not bad. We played some poker the last time. We'll be playing some poker in July when I meet up with these guys again. These guys love poker, man. Poker is fun, but of course, for people who, I don't know, it might not even be the best thing to really get into, but it could be fun if you're just doing it as like a hobby, or let's not say hobby, even just let's just say for fun, right? On occasions or something. Did I bet money? Of course not, because I would never. For me personally, this is a personal preference. For each their own. If you bet a little something, I guess it doesn't really matter. But I refuse to bet anything. So we just essentially played for free, right? But it was still fun. I don't really gamble, casinos and those type of things. I never really, understood the excitement. Now, some people will say, hey, trading is gambling, but I disagree, right? It could be. If I close my eyes and go buy Tesla right now and count to three, then, that's definitely gambling. And UCAR, another big red candle, right? Anybody could go right now and buy any stock. It's gambling if you don't have a strategy that's consistent, right? Which is why the recommendation is to trade in a simulator or use risk money when you're first starting. That way you can gain experience, find something consistent, and then push forward, right? That way the risk is limited. Your exposure is low, you're gaining experience, stuff like that. So is trading gambling? The answer is no, but it also could be, right? So no and yes, depending on how you approach it. At times, what does happen a lot though is that we'll think that we know and then we don't. We actually don't. And we end up losing because of that. But it's one of those things where it's like you live and you learn, right? You first started trading, you thought you had a good strategy, but looking back 5 years later, that was a terrible strategy. Was that gambling? I'd say no. You kind of did the best with what you had at the time, right? Yeah, UCAR is still trying. Max loss, I tell you, man. There's an ABCD pattern taking place. Watch out for those big drops, though. Hopefully you can pull away because if we see another big drop, it's not going to be good. Pre-market highs are up there at 15. I know it's getting stuffy at 15.19. Imagine being like a news reporter or like a broadcaster, a streamer, and you have a cold 365 days throughout the year. We need to bottom out. Can we bottom out? If it keeps dropping down here, not good, right? Can we bottom out? Okay, it seems that we might have had a low at 30. Here's 32, 34. It might start to pull away eventually, hopefully. At least the people still trading, the bulls that are still trading can have another chance. Those of you who are small green, big green, break even, as long as you're not max loss, right? 1351, the area getting called out. Once again, big shout out to Twin, who is a long-time supporter of the channel. buying the dip, but the dip just keeps on dipping. Like mentally, I still feel good, but it's like I just understand that I'm down too much. It's like it doesn't make sense. At this rate, I could be down another 300, another 600, another 1,000. So despite feeling good mentally, the the lesson is like, hey, we talk about what stories the market telling. The market is telling me right now, hey, RT, you might as well just stay away because right now I'm pretty choppy, right? Despite some decent areas, I'm a little choppy, so just ease off, come back, live to fight another day as the birds are chirping. My birthday is not today, Steve. It's not today. For me, I don't know. For me, like even birthdays and these type of things, I don't let it come into the way of my trading. It's just another day. Just another day. I don't know if trading has made me that way, but I feel like I kind of always was. I kind of always was, in terms of just this person who wouldn't really, go crazy for things. Like I wouldn't wait for a specific day to celebrate. If I want to celebrate tomorrow and do something fun tomorrow, then I go do something fun tomorrow versus like waiting for this day. It could be raining on that day. I mean, who knows, right? I could be, I could have a flu on that day. I mean, I don't know, right? Not to think negatively, but and that's the point of trading is that there's a level of freedom to where when you feel like you want to do something, you can go do it versus waiting for Christmas or birthday or so those days to me really it's like an excuse to go do something even if you might not even feel like it on that particular day. I don't know if people agree with that. Maybe some, maybe others might say, have fun on that day. I don't know. What happens on when your birthday falls on a weekday and you have to go to work? You're really and truly celebrating on the Saturday or Friday or something. So it's like, it's a weird thing. But anyhow, so here's break of 14. Let's get back to the technicals. Break of 14, stock is trying, slowly and steadily grinding up. It might start to pull away, watching on from the sidelines. I hope it does. You guys know I'm still a bull at heart. I want to see this thing go to the moon. Short sellers covering. The entries have been tricky, but again, we did hold that low of 1330. We made a new low of 21, pulled back by like 10 cents. So it still held that area on this flag. So we're seeing a bit of a cup, I'd say a cup here in the recent time frame and then pull away. So handle in this flag, and we can draw it up a little bit. All right, nice quick flag. We have the cup coming down here, curls up, quick flag. And this is where if it's really serious, maybe we get a quick test of pre-market highs over the next 10-15 minutes. If not, maybe some consolidation. Hopefully not a big pullback. Volume has been good. We had 5-day volume on our last 5-minute candle, which is a great sign. High is at 1425. High of the last area was 1385. Low is currently at 1372. So I think it's looking pretty decent. It seems to be moving a little bit more linear, which is good. Slow and steady, slow and steady. Looks like it's heating up a bit. There's 15. It's holding high. Halt 29. Right up at the pre-market high, so we get halted up here. See, that's what this day basically is telling me. It's like, if you survive the first like 20 minutes and then have big red, there might be opportunities coming. It's rare that we see a day where just nothing happens. In fact, it's been like years since like 2018. I think 2018 there's a week where I saw nothing. Can you imagine being here for a week and then you see nothing? Crazy. Lows at 1448. Might see a small consolidation below the pre-market high. So as I mentioned, within the next 15 minutes, will we get a quick test of the pre-market highs? There it is. So it's telling me the stock means business. It's hard to say how strong it'll be. If I throw a number out there, I'd say, can we see like 18 or $20 if it's really good? I don't want to compare it to yesterday and what it did yesterday, but can we see 16, 18, 20? If it goes to 30, if I come back at the recap and it's like at 30, then that would be amazing. So 48 for that low. The previous high was around 1425. So between the way how I look at this, between 48 and then 25. Can we try and hold up in that range and continue higher? There's some selling, potential entries. Can we hold up this zone? The low there was now 39. Hold up that zone and curl back up to highs. This is where this like we'll talk about it, right? This is where it is tricky. Like on a max loss day, I'd recommend shutting it down, right? Because you can then be enticed to trade again. For me, I'm not touching anything here, but still, seeing these entries, seeing some areas working out, it can entice you to trade. And what happens is that it's like the market sometimes it's just waiting for you, right? Not saying it's against you, but it seems like on days where things are not in your favor, it's like I would have bought right there. I would have bought at 1425. I'd have been stopping out at 1380, maybe down here 1350. And then is when you really get emotional because you then turn and ask yourself, why did I trade after already saying I wasn't going to trade? That's how you get into trouble. So, on a max loss day, don't even stick around. Just shut it down and just get out of here. Relentless trader knows the deal, right? In fact, the way how it goes, if I was to take a trade, at that point, like, me in a rational mind, right? 2, 3 days from now, when I'm already back in the nice day, I'd look back and say I deserve to take the loss, and you do, you do because you asked for it, right? If I was to be in there and then drop down 50, 80 cents on me, I deserve the loss because then what am I doing, right? The rules are the rules. So on max loss days, if you might have trouble, don't even stick around. Just get out of there and shut it down. You don't need any FOMO kicking in on you or any nonsense like that. We have to hold ourselves accountable always. So we didn't hold up that level below the pre-market highs, or we had a bigger pullback. At first we did, we bounced up, and 39, we went back to a high of 70, which is a good trade. And then, and this is basically what's happened to me too throughout this day. let's say it took 39. Let's say I'm in at a higher fill 50. I'm in at 50. I sell 65. I make 15 cents. I try to trade again. I would have probably been buying at like 20. And look at what it does. It flushes down to 50. The downside risk in some of the areas is even more than the upside potential. You know, really and truly though, we want this pullback to go back to high of day and then continue. But you know, if you're caught in the wrong areas, you're at a deficit, right? You're in the negative, which is what happened to me today. But yeah, this is a good place. It's getting close to 10:30. I'm gonna check out some of the comments. Hope you guys had a good day today. Let's see. Hope you guys, let me know if you guys finished red or green. Hopefully you guys had a good day. Oh yeah, Steve, you remember? Yeah, every day is my birthday, man. Every day is a good day. Have I bought anything to reward myself recently? MMV guys, MMV, big red to green here. Very sudden move too after selling off. Big bear trap. Um, I haven't really bought anything. Right now, the way how things are, it's like, I'm not gonna say I have everything I need, because, we all want things, right? Or I guess there's a contradiction there, right? Wants versus needs, two different things. Right now, I'm buying a traveling trading setup for myself. The one I've been using is my older brother's. I have a brother that trades. You guys will see him. I keep saying this. You guys will see him soon. I mean, whenever he's ready, right? Um, but I'm buying a traveling trading setup, which is, should be cool. I can do an unboxing of that and like a review. That should be fun. But I haven't really been spending money on anything. Look at this nonsense here, man. Like, what's going on this day? Beautiful bear trap into now bull trap. Pre-market definitely had the best action so far, from what I can see. This is not good. Hopefully nobody got caught in that one. Very indecisive stuff here today. But the stock is up a lot. Some people will say it's extended. It's always a fair point versus the pre-market lows. Ay, ay, ay. Why don't I share more about breaking news on the channel? Well, you know, very earlier, jeez, I can't talk. Very earlier, guys. By the way, this I'll say, right? This is a forced accent. This accent right here that I'm speaking with is a forced accent, which is why you always hear words coming out so weird, right? But earlier, when I started trading, right, earlier in my career as a day trader, I come to realize that the specific headline doesn't really matter as much. What really matters is the technicals, the candlesticks, how we're moving, right? Volume. And that's because we've had days where we've had some amazing news headlines. If you read the article, just nothing but beautiful things, excellent things, great deals, great products, improvements in sales and all these things. The stock pushes up a little bit, maybe 20%, and then sells off 60%. And on other days, there'll be stocks, hey, we're going to be bankrupt in the next 3 months. The stock does 300%. So whilst the news is significant, for me, I watch it news as just a way for volume and attention to come to the stock. Nothing more, nothing less. We've had great earnings. The stock still sells off. So, you know, they say it's how the market interpretate the news. And it's pretty tricky stuff. So I just, look at it as a outlet for, volume, attention, and from there I then move on to the technical side of things. Moon Trader, the pressure of FOMO. I've only really felt FOMO a few times, but this is what frustrates me, right? The number one thing that frustrates me with trading is when I make silly mistakes. When I make silly mistakes, that does bother me. That does bother me. And there's this feeling of just, wanting to prove myself over and over again. It's like it has nothing to do with the outside. It's just me and how I am. Like, I was always competitive. I used to do track and field and all these things. It's like I could lose the race, and it's like already in my mind, I'm already thinking about the next race and how I'm gonna win the next race, right? So when I do make silly mistakes, you know, I've gotten better at it, but in the past I'd have a hard time processing why I let something so silly, occur, right? But at the end of the day, we're humans. We will make mistakes. The best thing we can try and do is have them be few and far apart. Other than that, I don't really get frustrated. The setups are the setups, the patterns are the patterns. Just got to be sound. Just got to be as sound as possible, and that way we don't make many mistakes throughout the trading day. That's what really creates, like, if I ever feel FOMO, it's because of that. It's like, we don't want to call ourselves names or anything, but it's like, you know, how could you let this happen, right? It's kind of what happens in those situations. But then I accept it, then I move on. Sometimes I have to go to the gym. Like they'll, in the past, like if I'm more frustrated on a day, I'd go to the gym, kind of like, exercise, whatever you have to do to kind of get yourself going again, right? I had this guy once tell me he knew a guy that,